Welcome to Fireteam Chat, IGN's Destiny show and podcast. Today, joining me is Fran Mirabella. Sean Finnegan is back by popular request.
That's right.
The 5 people out there.
Now I got it on my Twitter. They wanted you back, and here you are.
Yes, glad to be back.
Today, we're going to be grading the new weapon designs. If you didn't know, Bungie released a bunch of screenshots of the new weapons. We're super excited. Soros had a pre-order bonus thingy that caused a lot of confusion. And we're going to talk about the pre-order bonus thingy and if it's good or not.
That's right.
And then finally, we're going to talk about how Trials is going random and whether or not we like it.
Sounds like a good show.
Yes, it's going to be an amazing show, Fran. Positivity. That's what
I'm here for, man.
Yeah.
Negative Nellies. No,
so
I'm
let's
just kidding.
Let's get right into it. We're going to look at the new weapons. I put some slides behind us on the television. So Haka,
yeah.
That's how Deed says you say it. That's this new company, and their weapons.
Foundry.
That's right.
Is the technical
term. So yeah, and maybe just as a quick precursor, right? We all had seen Soros branding very clearly, right? When Soros came up, and then they've now sort of announced that is a foundry. And really a brand for weapons that's making weapons.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Borderlands does this. Really, really interested. We're going to look at each of them. Some stuff to cover off on. Concept art by Josh Cross, Jesse Van Juk, Adrian Majurzak. Sorry, guys.
Wow, you should
Mark
have not
Van
even bothered going through that list.
Heitzma.
Stop saying their names. Go to Bungie.net and check out all the names.
Sandbox designer John Wyzynski, Raj Nadam is the lead artist, Dave Stammel, and Matt Likey.
Okay, the technical analysis.
You literally butchered every single one of their names.
Nailed it.
John Wyzynski. It's clearly, that one's easier to say. Anyway.
Sorry, if anybody from Bungie listens, I just apologize for every show. Now, so talking about Haka, hammers not scalpels, relatable design harkening back to a lost era. Haka is not about exciting form, it's about exciting function. A weapon's weapon. Haka is the instrument of the people.
So here they're talking a little bit about like the design pillars for how these weapons are going to function in the game. You can kind of look and see at the design right now, like they are very functional. They're not flashy. They're not like futuristic looking.
And this is it in engine.
Yeah, Haka is described right. Correct me, right? I think you just read it. It's more simplistic and functional. The way you read it was very confusing.
Critique.
But no,
we're being positive today.
Utilitarian.
Yeah.
Right? It's simple. It's a hammer, right?
Hammer, not scalpels.
That's the way to think about it.
Relatable design, harkening back to a lost era.
That's right.
So kind of reminiscent of weaponry that we might have seen in prior, 500 years in the past in the Guardian lore, which is really cool because a lot of the weapons we've seen so far have been very what you might consider like futuristic military, right? Mm-hmm. Like definitely sci-fi, and these don't have that same sort of like feel to them.
You mean in general throughout the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They do vary it up, but a lot of the stuff leans more into the future sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi. I mean,
but
it
there
is
is
a
stuff
game.
that like Last Word that's in between it, like No Land Beyond and things like that.
But these very clearly look like something that you might actually. I don't want to throw it out there, but something that wouldn't be out of place in like a Call of Duty game.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing.
Like something that feels a little bit more grounded in a reality that we know to be our own reality.
Right.
Overall, I really like the design. We haven't had a chance to use any of these, so today we're just going to kind of look at them and grade the overall design of these weapons. Some of the other ones we have had a chance with. I like these a lot. I think out of the 3, these are my 3rd favorite, maybe? What do you guys think?
Yeah, they're not my favorite design out of everything, but as Sean put it, they match the goal, which is right there, a tool. There's just some basic like teeth on it almost, and it's square. And you're right, it's not out of place with like how you might even imagine, these guns in more of a modern warfare type game.
They're the Ford of guns and not the Lamborghinis. It's not about flash. Man, it's not about pretty. Hey, I drive a Ford. I love Ford.
You were breaking Joseph Cross, Jesse. No, I'm just.
But I think like I said, that's actually something I think Destiny needed. Yeah. Like in terms of design, I like the design of them. I think it's functional. I don't like the color scheme. Like I think they're a little.
We're talking about Haka.
Yeah, I think they're a little bland, but
that's the intent.
Yeah,
It is, again, like, the way I would put this too is like, it's like when everybody gets whatever, the Light Beyond Nemesis, Warlock helmet, or you're wearing these amazing things. When everybody's wearing them, it's just like everything is overdone and nothing special anymore, which is why I have my tower
more shaders,
outfit,
please.
as I often talk about my casual tower.
Friend takes so long to get ready for anything.
You have a
in
casual
real life
outfit
in Destiny.
in
I go back to the original, like, kind of, it's like the robe that you get in the very beginning.
That's amazing.
Which is awesome. But anyway, the point is,
yeah.
what makes those special in this case is, assuming everyone's not using them, they stand out more as the simplistic, hammer type set. So I think that's cool.
We're going to move on to Armalon, my favorite design. Let's read their description. Experimental, bordering on irresponsible, powered by barely understood technology, a fusion of the mad scientist and product engineer of the new frontier. Hallmark is the liquid ammo displays and Armalon power cells. Armalon is the future return.
Yeah, these are little poems, that are haikus or whatever.
Design pillars.
Yeah.
But it's more...
Looking at them, though, they look so good. I love how they look.
So
simplistic, black.
So they're energy-based.
Yeah, if you read the description, these are energy-based. So meaning like the function, like in terms of design, they're supposed to be a little lighter.
Exactly. Pointing to
lighter
the screen,
and with less moving parts, and definitely smaller. And you can kind of see that in the design, as they look very smooth and functional, as if, like, I hate to say it, but like, how all of Apple's products are designed from one piece of aluminum, like, and there's not multiple pieces put together. That's the design that kind of these guns
to me
reminds me of.
These are closer to like the Vestian Dynasty, maybe, where it's just that simple. It's like mostly white, simple, and it shoots energy. I mean, you should, I think,
like,
read
doesn't that shotgun, or that's the sniper rifle, right?
Sniper.
Yeah, that looks like one big block of metal, like not multiple ones assembled.
This is my favorite of all of the guns. This is why I made it our
the sniper?
image for the week. Yeah, this
looks like a
sniper
railgun.
just looks awesome.
This reminding anybody else of Fifth Element? I'm pretty sure.
sure,
that was
why
it.
not?
I think it was it Fifth Element? I think, it's either that or like maybe like Oblivion or something. Anyway, I mean, obviously, sci-fi inspirations come from everywhere. I'm not saying it is ripped off from Fifth Element, just for the record. Just reminding me of that. Yeah,
a lot of people have
future
compared
forward.
the Vex to the Fifth Element also.
That's a good point.
It's probably an inspiration.
Well, there's actually that joke, look it up, with Gary Oldman holding, it's really close to the Vex, that one gun he uses.
Gary Oldman had the Vex before anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the meme.
But you should fast, Destin, can you read through the instead of the poem there, the actual details of the gun of Armalon?
The sniper?
No. If you could read through the core details, right?
Pioneers of energy weaponry, Armalon is the first foundry to experiment beyond the world of combustion ballistics. Sporting lighter, ergonomic frames, Armalon weapons all start with generous base handling stats to build from. Armalon talent grids focus on behavioral perks over stat customization. Legendary talent grids are the only weapons that offer 3 perks, 1 as the first non-scope upgrade, and 2 as a binary choice, almost got through it, in the final column. Perk selections favor perks that are energy-based and or go beyond the weapon to interact with the wielder's abilities or status.
Well, we need to practice this. But the point is, it's energy-based, and you'll find as you read through this, right, and we'll get to Soros. Soros is a very customizable set. This is somewhere in between. But the point is, it's kind of, it's more on the energy side of things and less on the maybe attributes of the scope or this or that. So there's definitely, you're going to kind of have to look through each one of these and figure out maybe what works for your play style. You know, they've thought a lot about that.
Haka's simplified set of scopes work best for the weapon, front-loaded perk nodes. This is the previous one we looked at. Their perks are focused on offensive actions and combat tactics.
Yeah, exactly. So each one, their perks are laid
out. And their pulse rifles fire a burst of 4 rounds. I found that interesting.
Yeah, instead of 3.
Just to match the DPS of a 3-round burst. I don't like that, personally.
Yeah, I normally don't like more bullets with less DPS, but...
well, the same DPS.
Well, sorry, with less damage per bullet. But,
so
we'll see.
This particular handgun, we actually got to use it at E3. Yeah. It's pretty solid. It wasn't really anything special, though. It wasn't leveled.
Yeah,
so
we
didn't really get to experience anything. Yeah. And it was all E3 build. So yeah.
It felt good, but it was just one of those
love that sniper.
Unoptimized guns at the time.
Overall,
If that sniper's good, that'll be a new sniper I use often.
Overall, it looks like Bungie's paying really close attention to making the weapons feel unique via the perks and the nodes, as opposed to, like, generally in the past we've had minus a couple of really nifty perks that made guns really interesting. You'd get things like, perks that increase or decrease the reload speed or the scopes and stuff, like kind of generic ones, and these ones all seem to have very different ideas for what the foundries want to do with their weapons.
And that's exactly the point, right? Is like you're not going to get, a Haka gun that is randomized that suddenly it almost feels like the Soros gun that you got. It's not going to have some of the same.
I hope they take away rerolls on a lot of these weapons, because the
I'll
whole
bet you a lot of these
system,
ones won't. I'll bet you only the PvP weapons will in the future.
The whole rerolling system really took away a lot of the special feeling about guns that you had, for me anyway. Like, all the guns in Prison weren't that special to me.
Well, that was just because that's not because of rolling. That's because those guns suck.
Yeah, the Queen's guns weren't really special either. So hopefully these have like standouts.
It doesn't sound like you can really. Well, maybe you could re-roll them, but it would be within maybe the randomized perks that they get.
Yeah.
But obviously they are very specific and tuned to a play style, and and it's going to be more about what you want. It sounds like, right, is getting guns for what they do. Which I mean,
instead of getting a gun and then making it do what you want it to.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was a good idea, but I definitely agree. It's kind of it didn't quite work out as intended, I don't think.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to Soros, and before we get into that, Fran wants me to read stuff. This is my sword.
Not that part.
Function is a given. It must be given form. Design is honed. Precision. Every curve, every line, every chamfer speaks to the Soros philosophy. Soros is elegance amidst brutality.
All right, you got through it. I'll give you that.
Paid for by the Soros marketing.
So now the important details.
I imagine these ads like playing in the tower. So
Totally.
I think it'd be totally
We
fun.
should make some ads.
Tactical analysis provided by Sandbox designer John. Name I can't say.
No, his was the easy one.
Wyzanewski. If I take time and read it, I'm fine. Anyway, some say the best weapon for a Guardian is the one that they can customize to match their intent. Soros believes in options, weapons that can be repurposed for a variety of combat situations. Soros talent grids offer 2 columns of 2 stat perks, granting more options for changing weapon stats than any other foundry. The single behavior perk is grounded in the middle of the talent grid as a focus point for the weapon's core potential. If you want a weapon that can flex from CQ to ranged, quick to powerful, fast handling to hard hitting, all with the swap of a few nodes, Soros.
So, Sean, you play a lot of PvP.
Lots.
That sounds like you can do a lot of customization on the Soros side. Like, now hearing about all of it, doesn't it sound like you would just want to have Soros stuff? Like, how do you think it'll pan out?
I mean, I'll bet you it will be the most customizable of them.
This wasn't a rifle, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we had that discussion about it possibly being a pulse. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the auto rifle.
Yeah. It sounds like of the 3 foundries, Soros will be the most customizable, but I think that oversells how much customization you'll be able to do. Like, I think you're going to find yourself in a position where, like, as much customization you can do, it won't be as good as if you were to use a weapon custom built for that one purpose.
Right.
Like a close quarters thing,
and I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, you'll gain some flexibility, but then you'll be like, you know what, I just like the pulse rifle from Haka.
Or like what you'll end up finding is it's kind of even built into their design philosophy there when, Destin was reading the pillars, but like Soros believes in options. I'll bet you that those guns will end up being kind of jacks of all trades, but not a master of any,
Could be. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of
how
my
it
point.
feels.
Like, otherwise it could be very powerful. But
So at E3, I got to use this rocket launcher.
Yeah, I did
and
too.
And the Scout, or not the Scout, actually it's not on here, the Pulse. The Soros Pulse rifle was really good. Like, I was stomping people in multiplayer with it. It was the go-to weapon for that day anyway.
Yeah, and my question was a little loaded, is that everybody loves Soros today.
I like
Everyone
the
loves
name. I
one
like
Soros.
the name. The rocket launcher had 1 round in it, though, and I never like that on a rocket launcher.
No,
you need
for
at
sure.
least 2.
Yeah.
No tracking. It had proximity.
You don't
but,
need tracking for PvP, though. You don't need tracking for PvP,
I like tracking with horseshoes.
Well, it's nice in trials.
You just need horseshoes.
Yeah.
I guess.
And
Yeah.
hand
Tracking's a PvE thing, I think.
Not necessarily. Horseshoes is great. You hit them with that tracking. They try and jump away. It tracks to them.
I think it depends on your
kills them.
playstyle, right? Like,
Yeah.
If you're a good shot and you lead and someone's jumping into your, you know what I mean? It really depends, I think, on your play style. But
Definitely preference.
anyway, what I was getting at is I was just saying the Soros auto rifle is unequivocally, I mean, it's an awesome gun. Like, there's no doubt about it. So I have a feeling these are going to get a lot of attention. Like, it's already a developed brand and idea.
I also just love the idea of there being foundries now, like, because we had seen some consistency with guns in the past. Like, there was the Soros regime, which everyone loves, but then there were other, like, there were some
even the
blue
Soroses, people
and,
used
like,
it two ways. They wouldn't level it for PvP, and they'd level it for PvE.
Yeah.
Totally.
So-
But what I meant was, like, you'd see other Soros guns pop up, but none of them were noteworthy. Now we have, like, this is a company or a foundry, a collective of people who designs guns a particular way, and now there's other foundries out there. Like, it'd be cool if there's, areas and NPC. It's just very kind of Diablo-esque or World of Warcraft-esque to me to have these factions have specific guns and rewards.
But it's early to
We
say.
got to move on, guys, so I got to cut you off. But I need your rating. So what's your favorite to least favorite? Or least favorite to favorite?
I love the design of Soros, so I think that's my top one. I'm kind of meh on the Haka stuff, and I'm also kind of meh on the Armalon stuff.
Okay. Fran, you?
Minus the sniper. The sniper's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to think about. I'm just going to have to go with style for now because I think
Well,
it's
that's
just
all we're
too
going off
Yeah,
of.
it's too
We don't
early
know
to-
enough about
We know
perks
some
and
about the perk sets and stuff, but I tend to like stuff that's kind of in the middle, and Armalon is there, and I like energy-based stuff, I think. So, yeah, I'm definitely into that. Am I grading it? Like 8
Yeah,
to
like
F?
what's your first and least worst?
But
best
yeah,
to worst?
definitely Armalon, then Soros, then Haka in terms of
A
design.
through F.
I gotta
Fran,
agree
here at
with
IGN,
Fran.
we use 100-point scale.
The Armalon weapons look absolutely phenomenal. We all like Soros. I like their design also. And then Haka, I think they're going to be the red herring. I think they're going to be really, really powerful weapons and kind of surprise.
Yeah, and
us.
that's the point. Like,
You know.
you're looking at design and you're
Yeah.
like, they look okay, and I kind of get what they're doing, but until you use it, it's kind of hard to say you love it.
We're
So,
grading the look of the weapons.
yeah.
Yeah, because
And it is intended-
We can't grade anything else.
But that was my point, is it's intended to not look
Worth
the best.
putting out there.
Boom.
So it's not going to look the best, but that's not what this is about in the end.
The televisions transition us. So next up, we are going to talk about the Soros. Talking about Soros. Pre-order bonus thingy.
Soros Arsenal Pack, I believe,
Yeah, the
is what it's
Soros-
being referred to as.
There it is right there on the television. Soros Arsenal Pack. It includes, it looks like a fire emblem, a minimalist shader, which I actually like, and then some of the weapons that we saw earlier, including
So this
the
originally-
Soros WSC-17, the Soros BNS-13, and the Soros PRR-11, which is an auto pulse and scout.
So this originally leaked through
Game Informer. Well,
and then
GameSpot.
Bungie posted it, right?
And then Deej is like, well, hold on, wait, it's not as bad as you guys
yeah, but it
think.
caused some confusion because it originally billed it as a GameSpot only pre-order, but it turns
Stop.
out you can
Stop.
sorry,
GameStop.
a GameStop pre-order bonus, but it turns out you can get it when you buy the physical or collector or
You can
physical
buy
or digital
any
edition.
version of the game anywhere early.
As long as you pre-order
You
it.
get this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a bonus.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to wait until January to just get it through the game.
So actually on my show notes here, I actually have the update. Early access to Soros Arsenal Pack is available starting 9/15/15. Soros Arsenal Pack can be attained by pre-order of digital and physical editions of Destiny the Taken King or by the purchase of the digital or physical collector's edition. Soros Arsenal Pack can also be attained through gameplay starting 1/1/16.
next year.
So that's next year for anybody that doesn't get a pre-order bonus. Soros Arsenal Pack is not exclusive to any retailer or platform subject
Good.
to availability.
Less
so what does
platform
this
exclusive
mean?
stuff, please.
Exactly.
It's
So
really
what
just-
does it mean? The offer will be available to all players outside of the United States. It includes pre-orders of the $40 and $60 editions, not just the collector's editions. And if you've already pre-ordered, you're already in. You got it.
Yeah. And again, like, break this down. These are weapons that you can get in the game anyway.
In January.
No, that's
you're-
so you can purchase them and get them, right? The point is, and I'm
Soros
making an
Arsenal
assumption,
Pack can be attained through gameplay starting 1/1/16.
but I'm making an assumption that these are just part of the Foundry. So I could be wrong that these are some exclusive
I think they're
Soros.
exclusive for pre-orders.
So you think the PRR-11, the BNS-13 might be totally exclusive?
Yes.
Okay, maybe you're right about that.
I mean, that's what it says. That's what this update says.
All right, I thought it was just giving
I
you a
don't.
head start
Well, I
on-
don't. I
on
actually
us.
don't think that
That's a
you're
good point.
totally out of the realm of possibility in saying
Brand's
that they're
thinking
part
they
of
might
the foundry.
drop.
Yeah, I was thinking they might just drop and they could show up. But in the same for, like, do you think that shader and the emblem are exclusive? technically, since there's some money exchanged, maybe that's why it's held. But the point is, you can get them later. But
So-
you're gonna get a ton of different Soros weapons. I just think like we often find this like I don't know that these weapons will be that special that it's that big a deal.
So assuming that these are pre-order bonuses only, and you can't get them until January 1st of next year, is this a good thing? Pre-order bonuses and stuff like that in general, I dislike because I just don't like pre-ordering stuff, and it kind of forces you to have access to content before everybody else. At least now, one good thing they're doing though is they're telling you, hey, you can still get this in January, so it's not the end of the world.
Well, it was like the what do they call the digital collector's pack that they added on after? I forgot the name of it now.
How do you guys feel about this stuff? Do you like that they're continuing this?
Well, I'm just confused because the pre-order already went out and like they hadn't announced Foundries yet. Now that they have, they're saying, well, okay, if you haven't pre-ordered yet, well, here's another reason to do it. And if you already did, you're getting it. I'm just getting confused. And what does that mean for Haka and Armalon? Like, are they not? Are they also going to have some kind of pre-order packs?
We will see.
Like,
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they're saving those for later.
I'm guessing yes.
But anyway, I'm just confused, and to me, it's not special without using the guns. And I don't care as much about emblems. The shader, maybe. I'd have to see it.
I don't know how I feel about. I'm on your side. I don't like pre-ordering things either, and I don't like being coerced to pre-order things with content. That's another thing that I don't like. Furthermore, I think what bugs me is that if they gave you an incentive to pre-order something months ago and then you're getting more now, it seems like in a way it's kind of devaluing the pre-order that you would have placed initially, right? Like, why wouldn't I wait until the last possible minute to pre-order to make sure I know all of the content I'm getting for my pre-order?
Yeah.
Like, it could go both ways, right? In this case, it's good because you're getting something, right? And if you already pre-ordered, then you're getting it anyway. But it's like, what if you pre-ordered a couple months ago, and then it turns out all of the reveals that you're getting for pre-order are really terrible, and you don't want any of that stuff? You've given them your money already, and
well, the
it's
funny
kind of
part
a bad
is,
situation for the consumer.
what is a pre-order for? Initially, back in the
To
day,
gauge interest and
no,
make money.
The reason a pre-order existed was to get your hand on the game in case it sold out.
Yeah.
Which now with digital options
Doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. So now pre-orders have become your commitment to buy the game early and support it. So with that out there, I'm leading to the question, which is, well, what should you be getting if you're a pre-order? Because at this point,
The game.
yeah, but that's the point.
Yeah.
If I can get it all digital,
that's
and I'm
gone.
Like, if
Those
I'm gonna get
days
it
are
digital,
gone.
I
Those
know.
days are gone.
But like, I think that's part of what this is about. Is like, okay, if you're gonna sign up early, we want to give you some rewards for being committed to getting the game. And
This isn't on Bungie, by the way. This is an industry-wide problem with pre-order bonuses.
yeah, and Activision loves them. I mean, there's no.
I don't think there's
secret
anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to reward players who are inclined to pre-order something. I do think that it's a very slippery slope, though, because you get into that pre-order bonus hoopla where, like, depending on which retailer you go to, different content is available or not available, and that is a major bummer.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I definitely think it confuses the audience, and I think that's a negative. And the immediate question is, well, if I don't pre-order, or if you just miss it and you find out about this later, it just kind of pisses you off. So,
Hey, where'd you get that gun? Oh, I pre-ordered the game. What?
Well,
Where do I get it?
So we're not. None of us here on this panel are in the position anymore. But like, think about a lot of the kids out there whose parents buy them these games for holidays or birthdays, and who aren't necessarily as knowledgeable about what different pre-order bonuses are available from different, retailers and such. If you're a kid who's getting a gift like this and it's not the one you wanted, like, because your parents just don't know any better, that's got to suck, right? And you can't fault them for it. You have to fault the retailer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm generally okay with the aesthetics. Like, I know in this game, like, if you don't get access to a certain shader, it still kind of bothers you, but
it's cosmetic.
But overall, it's like, oh, you have that ghost with the stripes on it. Fine.
Frontier Ghost, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it too.
But the point is, like,
use it.
It doesn't bother me that much because the
use the white
aesthetic. Guns, like I said, if they're special or you can't get them on drop, that is going to be annoying. But anyway, this is the pre-order problem across the
Even if they're
industry,
not special, though, like, that's a gameplay thing. Guns affect the gameplay directly, and that's just knowing that I don't have that option bugs me.
Totally, yeah. It confuses the audience.
We got to move on to the next thing. So everybody's kind of thumbs down on the whole pre-order thing.
Yeah, there's
we're a wavy hand in the air.
pros and cons for it.
I don't like it.
As long as the guns don't cause problems with the balance and stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't think
they won't.
will.
They'll suck. Moving on.
Right.
Moving on. So Trials of Osiris has now been made sort of a round robin of sorts.
For this week.
For this week only, they said, where you get to play on all the 6 maps. Maps included are Black Shield from left to right here. Hopefully you guys can make out the images, but it's Black Shield, Burning Shrine, Pantheon, The Cauldron, Thieves' Den, and Widow's Court. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about this?
This is a big change.
I think this is how Trials should be all the time. I like that it was on one map initially, but this is exciting. This is going to make you change your strategy every time you're thrown into a new game.
I think it's a nice change of pace. After getting into it this weekend, I'll be able to render a verdict on whether or not I think it should be like that all the time.
Yeah.
But I do think that it is really cool and awesome that they want to set people off their strategy, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, what's great about Trials is you find your crew and you get into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. You can kind of just run the same strategy, execute it over and over again. It gets easier and easier. This is going to force you to change it up every single time and go with differing strategies and kind of really play it more by ear, which is cool and dynamic for PvP.
If you look at the heat maps, like, everybody ends up in certain areas all the time, like usually where there's a sniper line, and they just duke it out, especially on the Pantheon, the 2 sniper spots, and then that back channel, you know?
Yeah, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, I think, right? Because
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just interesting to see those heat maps and how people play.
Well, yeah, like part of what makes this so cool is like when you jump into a Trials run and your goal is to go flawless, like you have a general strategy that you tweak based on who you're playing and what happens in the game, but you stick to it most of the time.
Yeah.
This is just going to change. Like, now you're not going to be able to rely on that strategy from one map to the next. It's going to have to change, which is cool because it's going to force you to play more dynamically and a little bit more, I would call it, twitchy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I actually think this, it breaks the intention of Trials of Osiris, which is, so like you said, Sean, you refine your team and your strategy. And sure, if you've been playing enough, maybe you've got strategies on these maps that you can just jump in and do it.
That's all I got.
But my point is, like, it breaks the idea that you continue to refine it. You got to get to like 9-0 if you want to do it. Mm-hmm. That's what it's really about. So mixing it up is going to be really interesting. So meaning, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And someone like me, like, I actually don't love the Trials experience. It's mostly about time. I like Trials, but I'm like, man, I gotta spend a lot of time in there. I gotta have the crew. Friendships are destroyed as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and it's a lot of drama.
I played with Fran and I didn't talk to him for months. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, like, and so I love it and all, but my point is, for me, this is actually inviting to, like, maybe have a chance to jump in and everybody kind of thrown off. But I do think in the long run, Trials is not really about that. So meaning, I loved this idea when I hadn't played it at all before it came out. Now that I have played it, I'm like, I don't know that this would work on a weekly basis, until you've memorized every map and your same crew is joining. Otherwise, you have no chance to refine, and then you're just going to be all over the place, which, again, I think will be a lot of fun. But I do think it kind of ruins the idea of how you're going to get consistently to 8-0 or whatever.
I went 9-0 with all my characters once, and then it's like, do you want to play again? I'm like, no, it's too stressful. It's too stressful.
It is. So and that's the upside. It suddenly becomes like this middle ground of the high intensity, but also there's that randomness.
It's for high-level players. I actually got in an argument with some guy on Twitter who thinks that anybody who's played Trials and gone 9-0 should not be put back in the general pool.
Why?
Because they're too good.
Oh.
I totally disagree. I think that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it's
nonsense.
just like,
you'll never get better either.
You get paired up based on your skill level.
Content for being good.
Yeah.
Well, they should be put in a separate pool where all the Trials players go. No. That was his theory. I thought he was crazy. I'm like, you're nuts. Like, that is a terrible solution.
And so, by the way, just to clarify that completely, the irony is I will be way more enticed to play this version of Trials.
Yeah.
So, meaning for what it was designed for, I feel like this isn't it. But for me, I totally want to play the random maps.
I've heard Trials has gotten a little bit more laid back. Like, not as intense. Because that first week, everybody wanted to be 9-0.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Still not an easy thing to accomplish. Like, most of the time I won't do it on my first try. I do flawless every week on both my characters, and
la-ti-da.
Well, it's just like I still don't have my messenger. Like, that's the reason.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
I got 2 of those.
Yeah,
like the first week.
I got Jewel of Osiris like 4 times in a row, and I'm like,
which one's messenger?
It's the pulse rifle.
Oh yeah.
It's like very, very strong in PvP.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say is, in my experience, I fight against Thorn, I fight against Last Word, and I fight against the Messenger. Those 3 more than any other gun, especially in Trials.
All that's going to change.
Yeah.
I said that
Yeah,
weird.
When
but
they tune everything. Yep.
but I think like I don't know if it's gotten more laid back. I think people have gotten a little bit more accustomed to the pace of it. And this is what's really cool is that it's going to adjust the pace. Like you're going to go in with a strategy, you're going to execute on that strategy, and that next match you're not going to be able to use that same strategy again. Or I guess you could random the same map again, right? Like it's not necessarily guaranteed that you can random it. It's a pool of maps now. But it's going to force you to play more dynamically and a little bit more off the cuff.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, John?
Thumbs up on this, but I'm not going to say that this is the way it should be going forward yet.
I'm thumbs up. I love this. I might play this weekend.
Yeah.
Might try it out. Fran, you?
I think it's smart that they do this every once in a while, but I think, again, for what Trials is supposed to be, you probably want to keep it the same.
That is a non-answer.
Let's
thumbs
get
up or
you-
thumbs
Meaning
down?
every once in a while it's okay, but keep it one map.
We're using the grading scale of thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah, this week, thumbs up.
All right, there we go.
Let's get you flawless on Xbox Destiny.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm glad you're still coming to the podcast every week. Fran, sell them some stuff.
Sell them. That's right. I'm like the. Yeah, I always have like the taglines and stuff. Anyway, as always, if you're listening, as the podcast, head to iTunes, give us a review. Otherwise, be sure to catch us on the Xbox app, our PS4 app, our YouTube channel, and otherwise, always on IGN. And then
Go.ign.com/store.
That's right. Oh yeah, the T-shirts. I'm wearing Taking King T-shirt today.
Yeah, you can get that on Bungie.net.
Which you got that at E3, right?
Yeah, I got it.
I missed
I don't
out
think
on
they
that.
sell that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they sell this one. So if you're watching, too bad for you. But we do have Fireteam Chat T-shirts as well. And yeah, it's just go.ign.com/store. We've seen some people rocking the shirts on Twitter and otherwise. So thank you guys so much for supporting us on the show. And I like the look of the T-shirts. They're great.
Got anything to plug,
too.
Sean?
Follow me
Twitter.
on Twitter at I'm Finnegan. Add me up on Xbox Live, Finnegan space II. I run Trials a lot, and I'm always looking for new people who are interested in playing at a high level to come play with me. And let's run some Crucible and Raid and all that stuff. I play a lot of Destiny, so add me up.
Fran, you want to plug your tag?
Yeah, just find me at Fran Mirabella on Twitter, and we'll make the rest happen from there.
At Destin Legary. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. I hope you liked the episode. And until next time, Guardians out. Nailed it. Yeah.
I did it.